Yo, what's going on, guys? Johnny GB here, bringing you guys week number 8 of the PGL. This will be up on Thursday, April 26th. Just been a funk for me. We'll explain probably in an update video later on next week. But we got week 7 and 8 coming to you live today, as well as the ICBA draft analysis probably on Friday or Saturday. But we're here, week 7, taking on Delray, coach of the Los Angeles Duckletts. We got a nice little Ducklett versus Ducklett rivalry going on here this week. And you guys see the teams right there. Naga-Onodel, Scolipede, Klefki, Zapdos, Seismitoad, and Incineroar. This will be Naga-Onodel and Klefki's last week. Klefki will be traded in for a Comfey, and Naga-Onodel will be sent to the Portland Timbers for Kyurem Black starting week 8. But let's get right into the battle here against Delray. So looking at his team, I really figured that either Choice Scarf Alakazam or Assault Vested Tornadus would be the ideal play to deal with my Naga-Onodel. So I have a Choice Scarf Naga-Onodel with U-turn, no Z move, no setup, kind of just a wall breaker this week. But I don't think I put enough speed into my Naga-Onodel to outspeed a Choice Scarf Alakazam, so I just end up making the safe play and swapping out here. I go to my Assault Vested Incineroar, which is my main switch into the Alakazam. I have no reason not to go into into my Incineroar. And here I have the freest of knockoffs. If he goes Lele, I get rid of its item. He goes Torn, I get rid of his item. If he stays in with Alakazam, I kill the Alakazam. But Del decides to get up both layers of screens, and I do find out that he is light clay. And I was a little confused on how this knockoff actually killed his Alakazam through the Reflect. Maybe it's just because Incineroar hits that hard. So he has a free Heracross opportunity, and I do have some solutions to Heracross, one of which being my Zapdos that can switch in fairly decently against my against his Heracross. He's going to go for the close combat. It's going to do about 30%, 20-ish% after the leftovers recovery. And because he has no ground type with him this week, I have a free discharge. I have no reason not to click discharge against his team, as he's going to go into his Tapu Lele on the turn I do click discharge. Now, I forgot that light screen was up, so I was a little astounded that this attack did absolutely nothing to the Tapu Lele. Made me think that he was a specially defensive one. Then remember that he did set up a light screen, so I need to defog these screens away. But this Lele is a problem. Unfortunately for him, I do end up getting the paralysis on the Lele. So Hacks was in my favor this week. It was just unfortunate here. But now I can go right back into my Incineroar. Whatever he wants to do, Moonblast. If he wants to go for Psychic, now my Incineroar has a free switch. But instead, he just clicks Thunderbolt. It's going to do about 35-ish% to my Incineroar. So I have a free knockoff here. No reason for me not to do it, and it does a lot of damage to Tapu Lele. His Lele is going to go for another Thunderbolt, so I was like, not sure why he's continuing to do that. I can click U-turn here. Again, it's just me forgetting that he does have the Reflect up. But I do have switch-ins to this. Klefki can now get its screens up against the Tapu Lele. For me, I have a foul play Klefki just because it does a good amount in case he does want to go into a Heracross. Heracross can switch into a Klefki fairly well because I don't have much to touch it unless I bring Draining Kiss or something along those lines. But I go for the foul play here instead of setting up the screens. Mistake on my part. The play should have just been to light screen and gone into something else. But now I'm actually able to get the light screen up just to prevent anything from taking any more hits. He does lose the Psychic terrain, so Psychic attacks are now doing even less. I decide, you know what, I'm not risking it. I have Incineroar, it's Assault Vested, he doesn't have choice specs. I can take hits from this thing in case he goes for a Psychic. But Del makes a good play, he goes for the Thunderbolt, and it cripples my Incineroar down to about 44 HP. Reflect is gone, so U-turn now is guaranteed a kill. And I have a free switch into a lot of things. I can go into Scolipede. I can go into Klefki again. I have a lot of options. But the Alakazam-Lele combination is gone. It was scary at Team Preview. That no longer is an issue. Klefki is into the game now as he goes into his Blossom. So at the time, I didn't know what Blossom did. Wasn't sure what it can do. Looked up, it does get Quiver Dance. As soon as I realized it got Quiver Dance, Yeah, this thing's getting paralyzed. I'm not taking the chance on this thing setting up quiver dances and possibly reverse sweeping me potentially with like HP fire and what else does it get? Like pedal dance or something along those lines. So now, because I know it's a special attacker, let's get a light screen up. So it's slow. I'm behind a light screen, so its special attacks are doing even less. And for me, unfortunately, well, fortunate for me, unfortunate for him, he gets paralyzed 2 turns in a row. Klefki is now starting to gain HP back. This means I have a free as day Scolipede switch in. No reason not to go to Scolipede now. Set up some Swords Dances and sweep. For me to sweep, I need 2 Swords Dances to guarantee an OHKO on the Heracross. If I don't get to +4, Heracross doesn't pick up, doesn't get KO'd. So he's going to go immediately into his Tornadus. I'm going to set up my Swords Dance. And at this point now, Rock Slide does OHKO the Thunderous. I still need to set up one more Swords Dance for me to KO that Heracross. But Rock Slide is a guaranteed KO with the Life Orb. If he was defensive, it could have been a roll at +2 with the Life Orb depending on his set. But Scolipede's picking up a kill. Scolipede's had a pretty mediocre season. So finally deciding, you know what, let's bring an offensive Scolipede. Let's see what this Scolipede can do. He's going to go into his Blossom, and I knew this thing had to be my setup fodder. The only way I won was if this thing was setup fodder again. I set up the Swords Dance, so now I have to see what this Blossom does. He's going to go for the Sleep Powder and miss, and at that point, that will be the game. He could have put me to sleep, and I didn't wake up in 1 to 2 turns. Heracross probably goes in and does a lot of damage. With the miss now, Scolipede set up its second Swords Dance, and now Blossom goes down to the Poison Jab. I'm at +4 now, so even a bulky Heracross is KO'd by a +4 Rock Slide, and we will pick up the 6-0 win to advance to 3-4 on the season, slowly trying to climb back into playoffs. And it was just unfortunate that it went that way for Del. Really having the 3 paralysis in a row with the Blossom when he could have got off Sleep Powders, probably could have Quiver Danced if he had it. And then the Sleep Powder miss that probably could have helped his Heracross at least pick up a kill. Or if it was potentially Scarf Heracross, maybe multiple kills. But it ended up in a Scolipede clean sweep at the end. I can't really say it was a good game. He had the hacks go against him, and it's just unfortunate. Even for me as a winner on this game, it wasn't clean. It wasn't very happy or satisfying that it happened that way, but it did help us claw our way back into the playoffs. But if you guys enjoyed this battle, go ahead, like the video, comment your guys' support, subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon content. But with all that being said, guys, I am Johnny GB, and I'm out.